We'll unmute. Beautiful. We're ripping. Audio is engaged. Video is engaged. Riding a little different angle today. I didn't like the last one. We had a real aggressive corner angle. I feel it was like looking at the back of my head the whole time.
More straight on.
A little more straight on.
A little further away though. It feels like.
It's actually a little. I mean, it was in the corner before. That's where it was last time. I kind of like it though. It's good. Has a little portrait vibe to it, you know. You can see some spear guns in the background. We got the beautiful fish tank. All right, anyway.
Inside baseball. What makes a good podcast? How close is the camera? I don't know. There's probably more to it than just focal length.
Definitely. But we don't dive in that deep with the technicalities of it. We just get on here and spew some bullshit.
About right.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Xhale Podcast. I am Eric Schraus, and I'm here with Rodman Leas, our co-host, as you know him and love him.
Good evening, Eric.
Good evening, Rodman. Good evening indeed. Yeah. Today, what we're going to be doing, we're bringing back a little revitalization of a company from years past that you may or may not have heard of. Used to be a sponsor of the podcast. Maybe one day we'll get him again as a sponsor on the podcast.
No guarantees.
No guarantees. And that is
Ballast Spearfishing. So
that's the one. I
am Ballast Spearfishing. For those of you guys that don't know, I was founded in 2016 by myself. I was working. Eric and I were both working at Florida Freedivers, and I saw some holes in the market. Florida Freedivers was an awesome shop. Is still an okay shop, but working there, I was doing all the buying, and I was like, man, there's better options out there. Like nothing was like scratching the itch that I had as far as gear goes. So started Ballast and brought in like some rash guards with loading pads, gloves.
We even still have
like that. Boom, some of the original new old stock right there
from the archives.
Was cleaning out the garage, found 3. Look at the pad on that. That is just.
This was actually one of my favorite loading pads.
Yeah.
On any dive shirt, wetsuit, rash guard, whatever.
I love that pad.
It's like hard.
Yeah. So when I first got it, I was like, dude, this pad is such overkill. I was kind of bummed, and then I loaded a gun on it, and I was like, oh no. This pad's money.
Yeah, it's really good.
But let's say fast forward, I left Florida Freedivers and started a different career in a whole different sector, and was just making enough money, and I let Ballast go. It was just a pet project. I was never like crushing it with it, and put it on the back burner. Had another kid, and just one thing led to another.
Not even on the back burner, man. That thing
it wasn't on ice.
Wasn't even in the microwave, dude.
Yeah, on ice. And but it's back going now. So we got new UV hoodies, shorts, board shorts, pole spear, all kinds of awesome products. And the goal with it now is not necessarily to fill holes in the market, but to be everything that I want to use to go to the Bahamas, everything that I think is cool and, you know, that works well spearfishing in the Bahamas, I want to have that under the Ballast name.
Nice.
And I want to have the best option available for it. So if you're packing a bag to go to the Bahamas to go spearfishing, you could do that with all Ballast stuff, including the bag, is the goal right now. So we've just kind of gotten it fired up. So not everything's in stock, but enough stuff now to have the podcast talk about it.
Definitely enough stuff to like get you started.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Both from a business standpoint and from the customer standpoint.
For sure. So
got a pretty good lineup of cool stuff.
Yeah. All apparel, board shorts, pole spear.
Yeah. We should do a little product showcase. Maybe we can put some stuff up. But yeah, man, I think it's cool that the brand has a little bit of history to it, especially to like a small group of us in particular. You know, Ballast was always like the stick it to the man brand kind of.
Yeah.
Definitely if you know situation. But it's got a little bit of history to it, and the fact that it was just like you said, it was a little pet project. It kind of had some roots and a little bit grander plan that just didn't pan out, not because of something you did or anything. It's just that plan didn't come out to fruition. But so it turned into a pet project from what it originally was, and I think it was fun while it lasted. And then when it was up, it was like there's no point in pursuing this anymore. And I'm stoked that it's come full circle.
I will say it was nice being the buyer at Florida Freedivers and being able to just buy all my own product. That was a good feeling.
Yeah.
You know, but now that
a little market control.
That's it, right? Set my own margins.
Start allocating gloves, dude.
But that's really what it came down to. And so I think like a good place to start, and really what brought it on was the pole spear. Oh, scam likely. Was the pole spear. So traditionally I've been a big Hawaiian sling guy, and I still am. I love the Hawaiian sling. But I will say, if you're trying to shoot big groupers and holes, the pole spear is the move.
Yeah,
like that's what you want.
And deeper diving, bigger fish in general. Like there's a lot of.
There's not really any category that a sling beats a pole spear other than just manliness.
I dig running a sling, like head hopping, shallow head hopping.
Yeah,
I dig the sling because you're just faster in and out. You don't have this big 10-foot stick with you.
In and out of the boat, just on the boat, especially when I first started diving and people rocking pole spears, I was like, you guys, you're all such idiots. What are you doing with these giant sticks? But then I saw someone like with a loaded pole spear equalize. I was like, oh, damn. Now I get it.
Yeah.
You're chasing like, even in shallow, maybe more so when you're shallow and you're chasing something from like, on top of the ledge, over the ledge, or if it's sloping down sand and you're pulled back on a mutton or a hogfish or something, and you have to let down to equalize, that sucks.
Yeah.
That really sucks. So a pole spear, or if you're like looking under a ledge.
That's what I was going to say. It's like trying to get up under there.
Yeah, so if you put your face under the ledge, you can see real good. But if you back up, your eyes adjust to like real bright light and you can't see under the ledge anymore. With the pole spear, you can keep your face under there. But even more so, you have a free hand to hold a dang flashlight, which Ballast has. And, to hold the flashlight and shine a flashlight on there. And the flashlight's a game changer, especially like if the hole gets smoked up a little bit. You can look for like an eye shine. The flashlight has saved me a bunch of times.
As well as the LED lights nowadays, like especially super bright, like spot beam. If it's a flood, not so much. Like the really wide beams, not so much. But the real spotty beams, like you can go from looking at a clouded out hole, you throw that torch in there, and you can penetrate like visually into that silt a little bit better. I don't know why, but the flood seems to like just give you a bunch of backscatter, which isn't fun. But a good bright spot gets through that stuff pretty well.
I like it. And so we were looking at pole spear, so I'm like, all right, now maybe I should get a pole spear. I've like come around on it, and my options were a giant. Let's use like Headhunter, because I think they're like one of the best if not they're the best pole spear brand out there. Maybe. Sure. Like I love their products, and and they're
definitely one of the most popular too.
Yeah, they're the top of the heap for a reason. But looking at their products, it was the Predator, which literally if you pull the band up too high on it, it snaps. Like the thing's lightning fast, but it's also super fragile. I think when I was at Florida Freedivers, I think we sold a ton of them because people kept breaking them and coming in and buying new ones.
Yeah,
which I guess is a business plan. But but I think Headhunter got a lot of pushback on that, and so they came out with the Nomad, or at first the pile driver, which was pretty cool, and then the Nomad, and that thing's
as well as a revised Predator.
Yeah,
new materials, new construction.
So the Nomad, it was like the far end of the spectrum.
Yep.
You know, like, yeah, that's great if you're shooting 60-pound blacks and rocks. And while, you know, I've been lucky enough to, like, have that happen a couple times, if I'm being honest, most of the time I'm shooting muttons and hogfish and, you know, like 20-pound grouper, 30-pound grouper, not 50, 60-pound grouper.
Yeah.
And so that, while that Nomad's, like, real good for giant fish and rocks, I wanted something a little faster.
Sure.
For, like, on the reef. And something that's not $500. You know, it's a lot.
That's a good point.
You know,
the pole spear price points have skyrocketed over the past, let's say, 5 years.
Yeah.
Maybe 10 years is more realistic.
For sure.
But good God, I mean, $525 that's like the top model of Headhunter Nomad. That's the roller 9-foot Nomad. And there's some like custom variations. That's kind of like the secret menu of McDonald's that you can get of Headhunter pole spears that I'm sure might cost a little bit more. But man, $525 for like a retail off the shelf pole spear is pretty wild. There's some custom poles out there that are probably a little more.
But most guys that are buying those probably aren't using a spear gun very often. Or how about this? They're diving in the Bahamas
a lot,
almost exclusively.
No, I mean, it's obviously not like a barrier to entry for it.
Yeah,
like people
still buying them.
People buy the heck out of them.
Yeah.
You know, and you compare it to like fishing gear as well. This is not to sidetrack too much, but running a shop, I get a lot of pushback from customers. I'm like, oh man, I don't want to spend $500 on a pole spear. I don't want to spend $600-700 on a spear gun. Like that's crazy expensive.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, dude, like, do you fish? Like, yeah, no. I don't. Not that I want to throw anyone. I love all the sport fish guys for sure, but especially the sport fish guys love to go drop 15, 20, 25 grand on new fishing. On fishing equipment, like every year or every few years, 3-4 years. But a $700 spear gun isn't that big of a deal compared to any rod that's going to be a decent rod. You're spending
$700 in deep drop rigs in a season.
Yeah, you're spending way more than that on a reel.
Yeah. How much is an LP? A couple $1,000 at least.
But even just like
that's one.
Like any of the Shimano's, like conventional Shimano's, like 50 wides, stuff like that, like
big Tiagra 80 wide.
They ain't cheap.
No sir.
Spear gun's way cheaper, and you can catch just as much fish on it.
For sure. For sure. And you're hunting. You're not just sitting there.
Yeah. Not to throw hate between fishing versus spearfishing. I think both are super fun. I think spearfishing's a little more fun. Fishing is way more expensive, and I get that maybe somebody who's more into fishing, it's harder for them to justify spending $600, $700, $800 on one spear gun when they might be fishing 90% of the time, and then they go spearfishing a handful of times a year, or they do all their offshore stuff is all rod and reel, bottom fishing, trolling, whatever the case is, and they go down to the Keys and catch wahoo and bottom fish for mutton snappers and stuff like that, and then they pop over in the Gulf side, super shallow, with a tiny little spear gun to just shoot hogs or whatever the case is.
Which sounds awesome. Sign me up for that program. It is awesome. Like I'm there for that.
It is awesome. That shallow water diving in the Keys is probably some of my favorite diving in the world. Big part of this because it's just what I grew up doing. It's what I learned spearfishing doing. But regardless, it's hard for them to justify, after spending thousands and thousands of dollars on fishing gear to go do all this other stuff, to like go jump in 10 feet of water with a $800 spear gun and shoot.
Well, and I think if you're not following the industry too, there's definitely some sticker shock there. It's like, man, I bought my like 32-inch biller for $80.
My Voight Swim Master.
Yeah, in 1982.
I bought in high school at a garage sale for $50.
But I'm 36, but I remember going to when Mike and Cheryl owned Florida Free Divers, going there and buying sling shafts, and they were like $10 a throw. Like I would just grab a handful and without really thinking about it.
Yeah.
And now those things are like $30 a piece. Like it adds up. It adds up real quick.
It adds up quick.
So going back to the pole spear design, I wanted something middle of the road, like middle of the road price, middle of the road performance. Like I wanted something, the daily driver. And that's what we wound up calling it, was the daily driver.
The daily driver. And
just something that, like, what am I going to grab 90% of the time? What's going to be perfect 90% of the time? Maybe at the extreme ends of speed and the extreme ends of durability, it's probably not perfect for that. But what's going to be perfect? I don't want to make my sacrifices in that 90% middle area. I'll make some sacrifices on, like, the 5% on durability and the 5% on speed.
Yeah.
That's where I'm willing to, like, make some sacrifices. I don't want to sacrifice 90% of the time I jump in the water. I want the right tool.
So you set out to basically put a pole together that hits the bell curve.
That's it. The peak of the bell curve.
Should have called it the bell curve.
That's
the bell ringer.
Yeah. So and that's where I think we did. It took a while. I started on it at the beginning of summer, last year, so 2022 summer, and like finding the components wasn't hard, but we wound up having to do like custom components.
Yeah.
And then dialing it in from those. You're like, all right, this is getting closer. Let's see if this works.
Yeah.
And I'm no material engineer, so it was trial and error. Literally just breaking stuff and seeing like what are the tolerances on this. Like
that's the best backyard engineering technique there is, dude.
That's it. Like how does this perform? Like how much flex does this have? How like because there's a compromise between like speed, flex, and durability, right? So you want it to have some flex. So if it's getting wrapped around a rock, it can bend. But if it's too flexy, it's going to lose a lot of power and maybe even a little bit of accuracy when you've loaded it all up. If it's too stiff, it's going to be brittle. So finding the right carbon for it, doing like the right wall thickness, finding all of these things out was tricky. And honestly, I imagine there's going to be a 2.0. Once we get a couple hundred of these out in people's hands and getting feedback, obviously like people are going to have critiques.
Yeah.
Which I'm excited, nervous a little bit, but excited for. Like I don't know what people are going to say. I hope they're going to love it as much as I do, but if somebody says like, "Hey man, these things are awesome except for
this and this."
And I can't even guess because I've thrown everything at it that I can think of. But, there's always someone out there that's going to come from it from a new angle.
So walk me through the pole itself real quick. As far as we know, you were trying to hit the middle class pole spear, I'd say. You know, not in a sense of for the middle class, although kind of.
Yeah. We call it the middle class. Yeah.
Yeah, we're coming off
the
with
blue collar. Yeah.
all
the
kinds of great names for it. But no, it's that mid-tier pole spear as far as performance goes, right? You got, like you said, your light category of poles, and there's a little bit of variation on some. Like some are a little more fragile and a little faster. Some are a little bit more durable, but not quite as fast within the light category itself. And with all of them, there's no like professional grading system of like this is a light pole spear, this is a medium, this is a heavy. But regardless, we got the mid-tier pole spear.
Another big point is you can source the tips. The tips will always be in stock. That was another when I was like looking at pole spears. That was another big thing for me. Was like the company that I don't want to like name them, but the company that I was trying to like, oh dude, I'm definitely gonna get this. It's a no-brainer. Never had stuff in stock, and like, dude, all right, cool. You gotta.
That's not just one company, dude. That's all pole spear companies.
Yeah.
This summer, I'm not even going to say I don't think I was the only shop. I know I wasn't the only shop this summer that just didn't have pole spear tips in stock.
Yeah.
Which is a major bummer when somebody comes in, and just pole spears in general. Yeah. But There's more pole spears than tips probably. But like people come in and want to buy a pole spear. Great. Let's assume I have the pole spear in stock. Awesome. Wasn't always the case, but if I had it, it was basically what you get off the shelf. You know, you're getting the pole spear, you're getting the one band on it, and it comes with a slip tip, and that's the only slip tip you're going to get with it.
Yeah.
I can make you extra bands.
Yeah.
But you're definitely going to go through tips and injector rods faster than you're going to go through the bands. So
for sure. Hopefully, right?
Yeah, customers were a little bummed, I think, this summer just on lack of tips in general. Not just bummed here.
Yeah.
But obviously anybody coming in here and they're like, oh, I'm going to the Bahamas tomorrow. I need to get five tips. Well, sorry, man.
Well, I hope we've solved the problem.
If you have,
I'm
stoked.
And the idea is just to make it a little bit more universal.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But I am all right. So walk you through it. 9 foot pole spear with a tip on there, so like a good range on there, kind of like that. I don't want to say standard, right? But
that's the bread and butter
zone. The bread and butter zone of length, right?
Yeah.
So that was like a little bit. I was going back and forth on that. I'd use a sea stinger that was shorter, and I really liked it. And I think that Ballast will definitely have a 6 foot pole spear pretty soon, because what's good about having a shorter pole spear is you can get in the rocks really easily with it. So if you're trying to shoot under a hole, sometimes there's like a sea fan or another boulder like right behind you. You can't get the angle on it. A little bit shorter of a pole spear makes a good difference. And in the Bahamas, and that's really what this is geared for, you can get pretty dang close to fish. I see more people miss fish because they try to get a little bit closer when they should have just let it fly, rather than the other way where they let it fly too early.
Sure.
So I like that shorter one, but we decided to go with the 9 footer because when you do need the range, you need the range. You know, like why not have that? You can figure out how to get the angle eventually. You keep playing hide and go seek. You cut the angle, you wiggle it around, you figure it out.
Yeah.
If you don't have the range, you don't have the range.
Yeah. And I'd say like trying to fall into that 90% category, talking about like 90% of the time I'm running a full length pole spear.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
A lot of times I shorten it down for sure, especially like when I was talking about how I love using a sling head hopping. I also really like just using a short pole spear. Yeah. Even just a short 3-prong, dude. I mean, you can do some work on some heads with a 3-prong.
To really be honest, I've slept on 3-prongs for a large portion of my life. But you're shooting snappers. If you're shooting stuff under 5 pounds, the 3-prong is the move.
I'm not going to say that the 3-prong is a replacement for a slip tip.
Because it's not.
However, if you really want to slow your game down a little bit and refine your techniques, like if you're at that point where
you want to get good,
you're ready to like start really refining your pole spear technique, you start with a 3-prong, you end with a 3-prong. Not that I'm in my end game at all, because I've got a lot of stuff that I could be doing with spearfishing in general before I get to my end game of pole spearing. But last time I went to the Bahamas, I took a 3-prong with me. I shot a slip tip a little bit, and I ended up switching to the 3-prong pretty much majority of the time I was there. And I shot less fish than everyone else I was with. I kind of shot like 1 or 2 quality fish per day. And I did that because I was like really trying to slow down. I passed on a ton of fish that I could have put a hole in.
Yeah.
But because I'm shooting that 3-prong, I slowed myself down, took a step back, assessed it, was like, you know what? I'm just going to let that one swim.
Yeah.
Which was tough.
For sure.
Because I've never really... I've let plenty of fish pass.
I tell myself that I'm going to let stuff pass. And
exactly.
Then my blood boils and I freaking let it fly every time.
It was tough, but I also knew it's like, I know if I shoot this fish, I'm going to lose it.
Yeah.
You know?
I will say, too, the big mistake that I see people make with 3-prongs, and it's the one why I didn't like them, is there's good 3-prongs, and then there's terrible 3-prongs. Like if it comes out and it's looking like the freaking claw hand coming out at you, that's not good.
No,
it's not. You don't want a gig.
If it's pre-spread.
Yeah. You want them tight. Maybe out to like a dime in like spread, but you want them pretty much touching when you start.
The Evolve one, man.
Yeah,
the money one. That's my favorite.
Rife
so
makes
far.
a real
Rife
good,
makes a good one too.
Rife makes a real good one.
Except they don't make them anymore.
Rife used to make a real good one. But
allegedly, they still have some. Craig. I tried to order one from him the other day, and he was like, "Oh, we'd have to put one together." Blah, blah. I was like, "Dude, can you get it to me or not?"
If you got the parts laying around, why not sell them?
Which apparently, sidetracking again, that's what we do here, right? The Rife 3-prong, I guess Jay Rife was the guy who originally like sourced the materials to build the 3-prong back when they were designing it, and they designed it for, I think they designed it for that carbon pole.
Yeah.
Like the OG Rife,
like
Rife carbon,
black one.
Whatever Craig was telling me, whatever grade of stainless that he found to use for the prongs is like some unobtainium, like ridiculous strength steel.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, what is it? He's like, I don't even remember what it's called. I'm like, I gotta know what it's called, Craig. I gotta know.
Yeah.
But that's just how I am.
Yeah, watch it be like 420 stainless.
Yeah, right. 17.4.
Yeah.
The same thing they make their shafts out of.
Now
apparently it's some pretty legit stuff.
And you go over like Hawaii, and mostly they're shooting like manpachis, like those little soldier fish or squirrel fish or whatever. But you see people shoot like giant ulus, and like people put the smack down on stuff. The best part of Hawaiian Skin Diver magazine is in the back. They have the record section, and they have a 3-prong record section.
How
and there's
sick
some
is that?
dumb numbers in there.
And we've always tossed around the idea of having like a shop tournament to a certain extent, or at least like
a
shop
record
records.
board. Yeah.
And dude, I don't even care. I don't care what you shoot out here on a spear gun. It ain't going on. We ain't putting up a spear gun leaderboard, dude. 3-prong shop leaderboard, and that's it.
We need a shop leaderboard. We're gonna put spear gun on it, but we need a shop leaderboard.
That's fair. We could put spear gun on it.
Yeah.
But
spear gun, no one's gonna care. I'm not gonna care about it. Like you put a new one up or whatever.
And it's like, oh damn, somebody shot a 10-pound mutton on a spear gun. Sick.
Yeah.
But if it's like, damn, somebody shot a 10-pound mutton on a 3-prong in Jupiter.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. For real. You can have a bunch of categories, a bunch of fun categories.
You want to see some cool. You're saying that like there's really just not much out there as far as like quality 3-prongs go. We'll see some quality 3-prongs. There's some dudes in Hawaii making some legit sticks, dude. There's this one guy, I think it's Kai's Custom Spears or something like that. Kai's Custom Pole Spears, something along those lines. Dude makes some ripper 3-prongs. It's a proper tree prong.
Go bring in 2 of them into the shop.
They'll never sell here.
You buy one, I'd probably buy the other one.
Yeah, that's true. But nobody else
after
will
this
buy them.
podcast, you never know. Will you put the record board up with a 3-prong category? Someone's gonna make something happen.
And go figure. One of my favorite
ego in on it.
One of my favorite 3-prongs on the market is the Evolve, and it's a Hawaiian company.
Yeah,
Yeah. So it's like
that's what they do.
Hawaii is the king of tree prong for sure.
And it's because they're shooting small fish, man, and it's the best way to shoot small fish. And the reason why isn't like, oh, you get like a shotgun effect. It's they call it a paralyzer tip for a reason. Like the fish can't wiggle, so you shoot them with like a slip tip or like a Hawaiian sling or a spear gun. They rip around on that shaft and put a big old hole in them. They might not get off, but you put a $50 size hole in a 1-pound fish. Well, dude, that's like a quarter or a half of the fillet. Like you mess up a lot of meat. That 3-prong, it's like 3 little holes.
Yeah,
you're saving a ton of the meat.
Yeah,
and like they're not gonna get off.
Yeah, there's some cool ones over there. It's all guys doing like one-off spears, custom stuff.
Yeah. He like wraps them like rods too, right?
Maybe, I don't know.
I think so.
I'm sure there's guys that do both over there.
Yeah.
But I've seen some really cool 3-prongs.
Yeah.
They run pretty short pole spears too, for the most part, as far as the 3-prongs go.
Nice.
But
Nice.
cool stuff. Anyway,
so that's the pole spear. Carbon fiberglass blend.
Nice
is what it is, and that took a.
Is there any? Work. I don't know if there's anyone else using both in this. Like,
yeah, so like one piece of it, it's layered with a proprietary super secret sauce Carbon Leas and fiberglass Leas. And
gotcha.
It took a while to get the stiffness as well as like the
as far as stiffness goes
together. I was gonna say breakability. That's not a word. The durability, stiffness and durability to match up.
Yeah, I like the balance of the pole.
Thank you.
As a whole,
yeah, I love it, man.
I definitely like that 90%, that daily driver.
Yeah, and when it occurred to me that like, why would I make sacrifices for the majority of the time? Like, that was silly. I want the best thing the majority of the time. And on the extreme cases, I can make it work. And like, it will work in those extreme cases, just not as well.
Yeah. I think I'm going to end up really liking that pole because I find myself erring on the side of light pole spears.
Yeah.
Because I kind of prefer the style of, like, hunting with a light pole spear. And I've ran the Evolve for a long time. I love the 3-piece 9-foot Evolve. It's been my go-to for quite a while. Before that, I was using a 9-foot Nomad. Loved the Nomad. It was sick and very versatile. The 3-piece poles are super versatile. I love the fact that I can take the midsection out and run a shorter setup. I found myself erring towards the side of lighter pole spears, and there's a great video clip from our friend Nick Bailey showcasing why I want that middle category is me shooting pretty good size yellowfin grouper and just not having enough ass of pole spear to get into it.
Yeah.
You know? And then the clip is me. It's like third person from Nick's head watching me shoot the thing and like bounce off of it. And then Nick comes over and is just like, honk with a big black reef pole spear and just absolutely annihilates the thing.
There's something to be said for that, you know?
Yeah. But if I had a pole that had a little bit more mass to it, I would have shot that grouper for sure. Well, I can't say for sure, but probably would have had a better chance at least.
Nice. So that's the pole spear. We got other stuff too. The gloves are tried and true. They should be landing any time now.
Cool.
Went and got a UV Performance hoodie. I found myself wearing these hoodies all the time. You know, like sunblock sucks. I'm never gonna put it on. But if I'm wearing like a performance shirt with a hood, I'll find myself like throwing the hood up to protect the back of my neck, get out of the sun a little bit. But again, the problem was like, man, they either like felt like trash bags or I would stink them out like super fast. You know, like the material on it is hard to find like the right material. You know, and I feel like a lot of people are going to, you know, like the same couple factories out of China, or they're going to like some print shop locally that is just buying like the cheapest blank. I spent a lot of time trying to source the blank. I actually got them cut. There's not a blank. It's cut, full cut and sew on exactly like what I was looking for.
Nice.
Those UV hoodies, man, are the bomb.
They are.
I love them.
I have worn them quite a bit. I'm wearing a Ballast t-shirt.
I know.
Right now.
We were wearing the same shirt without we didn't plan on this.
Matching salmons over here.
Yeah. Coral.
Matching coral, sorry.
I don't know. What do you want to call it? Salmon?
A salmon.
Coral.
But I've worn the UV hoodie quite a bit. I'm super, as are you, I'm super picky about that fabric. Mm-hmm. There's a shirt brand that I have quickly determined was probably one of the best fabrics I've felt so far, which is Anetic.
Yeah.
They make fantastic UV hoodie shirts. And I have yet to find that same like feel of material until this shirt.
Nice.
It's the same feel. It's like the same weight. I love the hoodie UV shirts as opposed to no hood. When you don't want to wear it, you don't feel it or notice it. It's like not there. There's nothing to it.
Literally like a gram of material.
Dude, they're amazing on the boat. You can't beat them on the boat. You throw that hood up, you're out of the sun. Boom, done. I don't even wear sunscreen most of the time because I'm not even in the sun. I'm wearing a hat. I'm wearing the hoodie, covered up. Excuse me. But I love them for travel. Traveling with that as like my primary shirts is so good because you can do anything in them. They like look nice enough that you can go to like a halfway decent restaurant and not look like a trash bag scumbag. But then you can go like hiking or whatever the case is. You can do whatever you want.
For sure. There's
very multi-purpose.
In the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu community, there's this guy called John Danaher, and I don't know if anyone's listening does Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but if you do, if you're a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner, you've heard of the Danaher Death Squad, and they're like these guys that just crush everything. One of his students is probably the best of all time, but the dude only wears rash guards. Period. Full stop. Going to a funeral, he'll wear a black rash guard. Going out to like a real nice restaurant, he's got like, quote unquote, a nice rash guard that he takes out to like nice restaurants. That's all he wears. And he's got like this whole shtick on like, if it's cold outside, it wicks really well. If it's hot outside, it wicks really well. Like, he's, I don't know, he sells it. It's just, he's a weird dude, but obviously an amazing jiu-jitsu coach.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
if you want to get into jiu-jitsu, get a Ballast shirt.
Maybe. Those blue ones would be pretty good for jiu-jitsu. They have like a little bit of a high neck on it, which is awesome. So you're not getting, like, protects your neck a little bit.
There it is.
There you go.
New old stock.
New old stock.
From the original Ballast orders.
We got those in like most sizes too. Medium, large. Is that extra or 2X?
2X, XL,
and large. There you go.
Perfect.
Them full grown men.
Yeah, it's a full size run.
What else we got? T-shirts. Our t-shirts. T-shirts are pretty much stock t-shirts, but I went to a bunch of different blanks. I didn't get these cut and sewed. The blanks are really important to me. I've just because like that's the only thing that separates t-shirts. Like a t-shirt's a t-shirt. Like I'm not out here trying to say that I've reinvented the freaking t-shirt.
Sure.
But good blanks, man. Good cozy. 100% cotton, but it feels good. I'm big on 100% cotton. I don't know why that's...
All right. So to touch on that.
Okay.
When you first told me you were getting 100% cotton shirt blanks, I was like, you're an idiot. Tri-blend is the way to go.
Yeah.
Nothing you can say will tell me otherwise. It's the only option. It's stretchy. It's thin. It's light. It's amazing. Tri-blend. Screw cotton. These cotton shirts are by far my favorite t-shirt blank I've worn yet.
Boom.
By far.
Boom. I'll take
by
it.
far.
Thank you.
And I love a tri-blend shirt. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. I'm looking over here just because Eric's been nice enough to put a bunch of Ballast stuff in his shop, so I'm going through the inventory.
Yeah. I love tri-blend. I've always used them. I've used them for all the Xhale shirts, and they're pretty comfortable. I had one out here. You took it off.
Took it
off the shelf, yeah.
That blue guy?
Yeah.
I put it away.
Put it away?
Yeah.
That's the new old stock of Xhale. That's the last new Xhale t-shirt, but I got more coming.
Those came out really good.
But that's a pretty soft blank. You want to talk about hand feel? Super soft blank, very comfortable shirt.
I feel like the tri-blend doesn't absorb sweat is why I don't like it. I always felt like a little clammy in it.
You're 100% right. It doesn't absorb as well. It doesn't wick as well.
Yeah.
And it like over time, these blanks, these are the next level blanks, which I like a lot, but they pill up.
Yeah.
They get like little fuzz balls all over them, and the cotton does not.
Cotton's the move, dude. You get the cotton wet, like dry, it'll look dry, normal. I like it.
I dig these shirts.
All right, and then before we move on, man, because I feel like I'm beating a dead horse here, we did board shorts, and like hybrid shorts, the board shorts.
Stand up and show these shorts to the camera real quick, man. Look at those bad boys.
Whoa, bam! A good cut. These aren't hoochie daddy shorts.
Yep.
I don't know if you get the mics can pick me up, but
not a hoochie daddy short.
These aren't hoochie daddy.
Just to repeat.
But this also isn't like your 2003 below the knee,
Yeah. No. Good cut. Good length.
Yeah. 18-inch inseam. I was going back and forth on like what inseam to do on them, and just pulled like a bunch of opinions and basically just went with what I liked. It was 18. It hits like right above the knee, which is exactly what I wanted. Same thing with the hybrids. One thing that I've gotten a bunch of compliments on it. Let's say you're not like 6 foot, you're like normal height. These things, because they're a little bit shorter cut, they're gonna look normal on you. Like I feel like sometimes shorter guys have a little bit of trouble finding like normal cut shorts. These things work. I'm 6'2", and these things work fine on me. The board shorts have a huge tech pocket on the high back, which one thing I wear board shorts like as shorts pretty regularly. The pocket situation on a lot of them sucks. So that was like the only thing that I was like
it's
little
a zippered pocket too, right?
Yeah, it's like a zippered.
I like that.
They call it a tech pocket. I don't know.
And it's big enough to actually fit a wallet.
I can put my wallet and phone in it.
And you don't have to like hunt your butt cheek to get your wallet in it.
Yeah,
to get access to it.
Yeah, no, it's like good size.
I like it.
So I like it. And then the hybrid shorts, same thing, 18-inch inseam. I really like them. Come in a bunch of colors, and I
like the colors too.
Yeah,
simple.
Yeah, khaki,
modern,
navy, gray, and black.
And then
like
the
black's kind
the
of
citrus board shorts. Everybody loves
cool.
those.
Yeah,
it's a really good like.
As soon as I saw
combo.
that print, I was like, dude, that's the one.
I dig them, and as well as everybody that has looked at them.
Yeah,
everybody gravitates to the orange.
Yeah, I like them a lot.
The citron.
There you go. Dang, dude, sounds like a vodka.
Citron.
Yeah, so that's kind of the rundown, and then hats and like all sorts of other silliness. Cool. But
what's coming down the pipeline?
So coming down the pipeline, other stuff that I use in the Bahamas. So weight belts, gloves, dive knife, got sample masks.
I've seen a sneak preview of a potential knife prototype.
Yeah.
That I'm pretty fired up on.
The prototype's cool. No one else has anything like it. Honestly, the knife was easier than the sheath. So for me, a dive knife, like I'm like braining fish with it, cutting line. Like the knife itself is pretty utilitarian. The knife that the Ballast is doing, it looks different, right? It's kind of cool.
It's very different.
So like that grabs you. But where I think a lot of traditional dive knives fail is the sheaths are just
trash. Yeah.
So I really wanted to make sure that like this sheath is on point, and I don't want Ballast to be like I threw a bunch of crap together. I don't want to name names, but like there's some like discount spearfishing companies that like, all right, they went on Alibaba and grabbed a bunch of diving stuff, and it's all crap.
It is literally crap.
It's literally crap. Like, I've been going through a ton of samples, like, doing stuff. So it's slow, which is frustrating.
I'll interject quickly. Not that everything in the Ballast lineup is U.S. made.
Yeah.
But going back to the pole spear, one thing I love about the pole spear, and it's something that I try to push in the shop as much as I can, almost all the brands that we work with at the shop are U.S.-based companies at the very least, and a lot of their products are generally going to be U.S.-made as well.
Yeah.
Like I love working with Deep Apnea. He's local. Headhunter, he's local. Black Reef is local, and everything. Most of what they're making is made here in Florida,
sure.
And then other companies are also doing the same thing. But
everything that I could source U.S. made, I did. Every single component. Like, literally every single bit on that pole spear is U.S. made.
That's what I love about it.
Yeah.
That Ballast pole spear, 100% U.S. made.
100%. Not one piece of it. And most of it is made locally.
Yeah. Like
in Florida locally.
Yeah.
But
that's cool. I like that.
That's really cool.
Anyway.
But, so... so that's kind of it. Oh, what's coming down the pipeline? I'm just other stuff. Masks have been really hard.
Yeah.
You know, just because I'm picky, I want it to be like, I don't want to talk myself into liking it. Oh, this one's pretty good, dude. That ain't gonna work. Like, I gotta take it out of the box and be like, dang, dude, look at this mask. This nailed it. Because if it's not nailed it, we'll go back. I got nothing but time.
Yeah, and masks are important, man. You can probably get something that's good enough, and it's gonna fit a lot of people pretty well.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't fit, you know, I mean, you're never going to find one mask model that fits everybody perfectly, but you can find one mask model that fits a lot of people extremely well.
For sure.
Maybe not perfectly on every single one of them, but extremely well. Good enough that it's going to be plenty comfortable.
Yes.
That's a tough mask.
The Rife Nectin is a good example. Cressy Matrix is a good example.
Cressy Perla.
The Cressy Perla, man.
Slept on mask. $28 mask. Fits everyone.
Fits everyone. And I've seen people dive that mask like well past 100 feet.
Oh, you know? It's low volume enough that it's not going to affect you for anything that you're doing spearfishing.
Yeah.
And really not going to affect much, you know, maybe I'm sure you could take that mask well past 100 foot with no problem. It's pretty low volume.
I watch, you know, like when I took the FIA level 2 class, my buddy Clinton, he dove the.
I'm talking about OGs.
OG Clinton Bolton, looking like Creed. What's the singer from Creed's name?
I don't know. With arms wide open.
So Clinton and I picked up a hitchhiker once, and he hops in the back seat and starts losing. He's like, oh my god, and fully thought Clinton was like on meth or something, but fully thought
Clinton or the guy.
The guy, maybe both. I don't know what kind of meth do they have in South Africa. I fully thought that Clinton was a lead. I can't believe I'm blanking on the dude's name.
That jerky. That's South African meth, dude.
Yeah. The Bolton, or I don't know, Bolton? I forget what he called it.
It is. It does have a weird name, doesn't it? Something like that.
But that hitchhiker dude was insane. So we picked him up. He's in full army fatigues. So he pulled over thinking that he was like fresh out the army or something. Definitely surplus. Like, definitely surplus. And he's just talking the entire time. And he's like, yeah, I mean, they call me Staff Sergeant 2 for you to chew because his teeth were all falling out from meth.
I remember this story.
Yeah, and he's like, man, they
2 for you to chew.
2 for you to chew. He's saying they were shooting a Humvee mounted machine gun, and it broke off the mount, clacked him in the teeth, knocked all his teeth out, and the army would only pay for like 8 teeth, and they said the rest were cosmetic surgery, and they wouldn't pay for it, and he didn't have the money to do it, which is, I hope not true, because that's a terrible
There's
story.
no way that's true.
I hope that's
I hope it's not true. It's pretty awful.
Yeah. God, I was there was someone in the car super hungover, and it was the day after
someone
my birthday.
In the car?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Day after my birthday, and he whipped out an IV kit and hung it on like the little handle. He's like, dude, let me tap you. I was like, hell no. Hell no. 0 chance I'm getting an IV from some methed out hitchhiker. Clinton
should have run it, man.
Dude, Clinton's out there living his best life, man.
He's like piloting and stuff.
Yeah, he's working on
that
super yachts, and he's like flies the helicopter to the super yachts, and then like teaches them how to kiteboard. Dude's living the dream.
So Clinton brought us a bag of the South African jerky, which ended up being kudu.
Yeah, kudu.
That I remember it like,
it's like
it was
great.
Yesterday.
It's great. It tastes like dried liver, and he wasn't wrong.
Yeah, I remember trying. We both tried a piece of it, and this is like, it's not beef. It's not like jerky. It's like sun dried raw meat. You know, not like it is. It's raw meat hung in the sun. Yeah, it's not cooked.
Yeah, no,
it's just
it's
dry
got a certain
raw meat.
Translucentness to it that only comes with sun drying,
and a certain like
funk
esque. But we both tried a piece and we're just like, that's just plain not good.
Yeah,
and then we drank like 8 beers a piece, and we were freaking sucking that jerky down like it was candy, dude.
Beer and jerky together, it was way different.
It became, quite honestly, probably the best bag of jerky. It wasn't of kudu jerky. Best bag of jerky I've ever had.
There you go.
Very quickly. And then we let it sit for about a week without eating it, and it grew like a white meat mold.
Well, it looked like a white dust, and sometimes like I thought it was just drying out. Like I wasn't sure what was going on with it.
Yeah, had a little bloom to it.
Yeah, turns out those were all spores.
Spores, dude. Rodman opened the bag.
Like, what is going on in here?
And a freaking like mushroom cloud of mold spores come out of this bag and like spread through the room. We're like, dude, we gotta leave. We can't be in here with this.
Blasted right in the face with kudu mold dust.
Ebola fungus in there.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
great jerky though.
How did we get there?
Clinton, bring some again.
Yeah. I gotcha. So
Ballast is getting into the jerky game.
I wouldn't hate that. My wife, my loving and supportive wife who never watches this podcast, I actually got her a dehydrator for Christmas. We're like 20 days out from Christmas right now.
Nice.
But I got her, so my jerky game is about to step up.
Heck yeah.
We'll see what happens.
I'm here for it.
You ever had jerkied fish?
I have.
Dude.
We've talked about it before.
It is.
Nick Bailey.
We did.
Nick Bailey
on
made
the last
some.
On the last podcast we did, so I'm not going to go into it. But
Jack Crevel jerky.
Speaking of Bailey, it's his birthday.
Yep.
Which just so happens to coincide.
We did have, he's probably not watching anymore, but we did have somebody commenting saying, also, happy early birthday. Glad I was able to come out and celebrate last year. And I don't think he's referring to Nick. Is it your birthday? When's your birthday?
September.
It already passed.
Yeah.
So
September, along with like 90% of the population. I don't know what happens.
It's not my birthday. We appreciate the birthday wishes. It's not my birthday or Rodman's birthday. But it is Nick Bailey's birthday.
Send presents anyway.
Send presents. It is Nick Bailey's birthday yesterday. So happy birthday to our good friend Nick Bailey. And we're having, it's not specifically a Nick Bailey celebration, but it's a Nick Bailey celebration at the shop on the 17th. So we briefly talked about this on the previous podcast, which was like 13 months ago, probably. Yep. But we are officially rolling out the 12 Days of Christmas raffle. Tickets are live on the website. You can buy them on the website or in store. If you just go to xhalespearfishing.com, they're going to be right in your face. You don't have to go anywhere to try and find them. We've got over 200 entries right now, so
which isn't a ton when you're thinking there's 12 products and the tickets are how much a piece?
$1 a pop.
$1 for a twin roller. How much does that twin roller cost?
$1,200.
$1,200 for $1. Yeah. The alchemy fins.
We've got a ton of good stuff getting.
Send in a ballast pole spear. So you got a ballast pole spear, all kinds of ballast swag actually.
Yeah, so we're doing a ballast swag pack. I mean, just to run through the list. We got a ballast, 2 ballast apparel packs. One is going to be the shirts and a hat or whatever, maybe multiple hats. Yeah. We'll see. We'll have to do some negotiating. The other is going to be like the board short pack, or maybe we'll just split them up, do a shirt and board short and hybrid short, whatever the case is. 2 ballast apparel packs, an Xhale apparel pack. Those are kind of like the bottom level. That's the 2 least impressive things that we're giving away.
Yeah.
3. We're giving away a Cressy Nepto dive watch, which is this guy right here. If you're familiar with like the F10, very similar style watch.
Same computer as the F10.
Really good, just like bare bones dive watch. Absolutely love the thing. Over, I think it's $2 or $325, something like that. So it's not a cheap thing. What else have we got? We're doing, so Rodman said the Alchemy fins. We got a pair of red, medium soft Alchemy S series blades. So those are the spearfishing model, a little bit shorter than the V3s, and they're tip flex instead of a mid flex. We've got a pair of Setma Mantras in magenta that are soft. That's a freaking badass, like competitive style line diving fin.
You want to hit a personal best depth? Those fins, especially in like the S-wing pockets.
They have to go in the S-wing pockets.
Those things are money.
Yeah, really, really good competitive fin.
And they don't suck for like, especially blue water diving, but like around the reefs are a little bit long. But if you're diving like deep reefs off of Jupiter, they're not bad at all, man. They're great for that.
Yep, my buddy Billy is like a, basically a commercial fisherman, commercial diver. He runs those mantras in Setma foot pockets, spearfishing only. He doesn't do any kind of line diving or competitive diving.
Billy's not line diving.
No. And he loves them. He runs them in a medium stiffness, so a little bit stiffer than the
Not that Billy couldn't line dive. He's a great diver. It's just not different.
Not Billy. Billy can't line dive.
Just different vibe.
So yeah, we got 2 pairs of carbon fins going out. We've got a Ballast pole spear, the one that we're talking about earlier, the daily driver, a 2-piece carbon fiberglass hybrid. Absolutely sick setup.
The bell ringer.
The bell ringer, the middle class, the daily driver, the blue collar baddie. Man, some of the stuff is slipping my mind. I'm not gonna lie.
Whole bunch of stuff. Check the Instagram.
And 2 guns. So the main gun going off in the giveaway is the Koa Twin R. That's the double roller blue water gun, and it does not have a tag on it, but I believe it's a 63 or 57, something like that.
Big.
It's a big boy. 11/32 shaft, absolute powerhouse of a spear gun.
Was that 3/8 of an inch?
Yeah. No. 11/32. Not quite 3/8.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I don't know what that is in millimeters, but it's one step under the 3/8 shaft. But
I mean, it looks like a piece of rebar.
Still a piece of rebar. Really good, like intermediate shaft size for big blue water stuff. As far as like the big scale goes, 3/8, little overkill for wahoo. Great for tuna.
Yeah.
But still like. With modern spear guns, the 3/8 shafts have kind of like phased out a little bit. That 11/32 is a really good kind of all-purpose size. It's plenty of mass to shoot big tuna.
You get a little bit more velocity.
Yeah, it's not quite, it's definitely overkill for wahoo for the most part, but it's not quite heavy enough like a 3/8 shaft to like put a ton of weight on the fish. So it's a good intermediate blue water size. And then we're also giving away a JBL Reaper 120, which is kind of a unique setup. They do not sell a roller Reaper, but we've got a Reaper 120 with a Manny Sub ceramic bearing roller kit on the front of it.
Which is a sweet roller.
It's a really cool little setup. Great gun for here. Great like all-purpose gun for the Jupiter, East Coast, South Florida area, as well as pretty much anywhere in the world, honestly. The 120 roller, single roller is a tough gun.
You want to go shoot a wahoo? Boom. You're working the flashers trying to shoot Kobe. That's an awesome Kobe gun. Or wahoo rolls through. You got the gun that'll.
And it's a sick reef gun. Like I've shot that thing in the Keys in 20, 30 foot. Not that exact gun, but 120 roller. It's money. Love it. Great grouper gun.
No recoil.
0 recoil for the most part. So yeah, that's just the short list of awesome stuff that's going on. And that gun we're giving away on the 17th. That's the kickoff for all of the raffle drawings. And on the 17th, we're doing the Nick Bailey birthday extravaganza at the shop. So if you're in the area locally or if you want to drive out here, starts at 5 p.m. December 17th. Everybody will be here. Come through.
BYOB?
BYOB. We are not serving alcohol.
Good to know.
But what you do in the parking lot ain't on me. But we will have food. So it's going to be... We've done the not potluck, but catch and cook events in the past, in conjunction with our homie Dave over at Killshot Life. Check him out on Instagram. Dave's a homie. There's a sticker right here on this side. Killshot Life. Shout out. Those were super fun. Basically, everybody would just bring their own fish, bring their own food, cook it up here, cook it up beforehand. It was kind of focused around the cooking part of it. This time, we're just mostly doing a social event. but potluck style. So bring some food. You don't have to. Zero obligation to bring anything. You can show up with absolutely nothing. We'll still talk to you and still love you. But if you want to bring something, absolutely bring something. We'll have some food here regardless. And we'll probably have like waters and stuff like that. But like I said, what happens in the parking lot stays in the parking lot.
Or the back alley?
We don't talk about the back alley.
Half the party's going to be back there.
No, you don't. That's the after party.
Gotcha. Nice, man. So that's coming up. It's like a week away.
It's coming up. Yep, a week away.
10 days. Awesome, man.
Get fired up for it. Like I said, if you want to buy tickets to win any of this badass stuff, xhalespearfishing.com. It's right up there. We're doing virtual drawings, so you don't have to be here at the shop to win anything. You do have to be at the shop to win the roller gun, the single roller gun, the JBL. But the double roller and everything else in the raffle, you do not have to be in the state of Florida. You do have to be in the U.S., but yeah, that's it. So anyway,
nice.
Thanks for another great episode. Thank you guys for watching.
See you next time.
We'll see you in the next one.
There you go. Get diving.
Eric out. See you guys.